Happy Sunday, y'all.
Happy Sunday. I don't know why I just felt the urge to do that, but that was in my spirit.
Well, let it all out, Tash. You know, we're here. We family.
Because once again, I'm
in the club.
We are fam. And once again, I'm extremely churchy adjacent. So everything got a little praise break at the end. Because why not?
I know what I'm going to get you for your birthday this year.
Please let it be a tambourine.
It is going to be.
Oh, yes, I need it. Oh, my God. No, like, I literally be playing tambourine when I go to church. Like, I would just pull it out, like, for real.
It's going to be a tambourine.
Yep. Oh, my God.
Sometimes you need a little praise break, right?
Every time.
You got to have one for when you in the shower, too. You just never know.
Yes. Yeah, you just never know.
You never know. Well, welcome to another episode of the Soulful Stir. I'm Diamond Symoné.
And I'm Tash.
Tell me something good, Tash.
Man, you know, I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I'm going to go ahead and mention that this is also a little mind-body balance information as well.
You love that?
But I've been back in therapy for a few weeks now. And let me tell you, when they say going to therapy is to work on you and to talk about people that don't go to therapy, when I tell you I have been tried since I've been back in therapy, and I have not crashed out.
Why does it always work like that, though? It's like, I feel like when I'm in therapy, I be placed in positions, and I'm still in therapy, but sometimes when you feel like you're on a good trajectory and you know, talking to your therapist, you ever feel like you be put in positions that just test all the theories and practices that you talk to your therapist about?
Listen, when I tell you, I be thinking about stuff and I just be wanting to bust out and be like, well, Shannon said, and people be like, what? You know what I'm saying? Because I've said that before to somebody and they like, who is that? I'm like, oh, that's my therapist. But like, seriously, I really feel like as soon as, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen all the time, but as soon as you really get serious about working on yourself, all the situations that require you to work on yourself will show up.
Yeah, do manifest.
Like,
it's a true testament of what you learned.
It is crazy. Like, I will be talking to my therapist about something, and then and I'll be like, yeah, because this ain't happened lately, and I think I'm good. And then next thing I know, it'll happen, and I'll be like, what? And then I'll call her for validation, like, girl, I said this, they said this, I said this. Was that cool? She'd be like, yeah, you know what to do. But in all seriousness, though, like, I think we've said this in previous episodes, but I'm really an advocate for therapy, especially having a therapist that you feel comfortable with. My therapist is a Black woman. She's a fairly younger lady. Like, we're kind of, you know, in proximity of age or whatnot. And I didn't know this part until like maybe after a few sessions of knowing her, but she's also a Capricorn. So like when I be like, girl, I feel like this, she'd be like, I totally understand what you feel. And when she says it, I understand, because like,
it's like that meme of Kermit staring in the mirror with the hood on. Absolutely.
Like, because she sees me, like she knows me. And so like one thing I love about being a Capricorn is that I love and I embrace who we are, like our quirks, but I also know that like we kind of crazy, like, you know what I'm saying, and it take the right kind of crazy and the right kind of like, you know, individual to understand like how our mind works. And you know, when I say certain things to her, she was like, absolutely, because I'll be like, was I wrong for this? And she'd be like, absolutely not. And it's not in a gaslighting, placating sort of way. Like, she's literally like, no, you're just being a little bit extra hard on yourself, because once again, everybody tries to tell Capricorns that we're so mean, we're so hard, we're so stubborn. So sometimes I think I'm overreacting to situations when really I'm probably not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I really just feel like it's good news that I didn't crash out on nobody this week, because
I'm proud of
when
you.
I tell you, I feel like my mama, baby daddy could have got it like 4 times. And for y'all that are new here,
goodness,
or that don't know me, I refer to my father, and I use that term loosely, as my mama's baby daddy, because essentially that's just kind of what he is, just my mama's baby daddy. So yeah, but he's really made me want to kind of like crash out, him and his son, aka my brother. I love them both to death. Like I'll never let anybody else, play on their top, as the YN say. But at the same time, I might joke, but I don't play though. You know what I'm saying? And so they be trying to play with me, and I don't like that. But I do love the fact that I avoided a lot of confrontation with them this week, because both of them really came for me.
Good for you, because that's really hard to do. And I recognize your growth. Yes. You are seen, you are loved, you are valued, Tash.
Yes, because when I tell
in this space and in every space, I know how hard it is. I'm gonna tell you, like, you just made me just reflect on some of my sessions with my therapist, and I am the problem sometimes. I am the problem, and I'm not afraid to admit it. But my therapist and I, we become so close, and she's been able to give me just such a profound perspective on the many different things that I've spoken to her about. But sometimes she is like, no, you're not wrong, or she on my side. Yeah. But other times she's like, now, Diamond, you cannot, that is unhealthy, and I don't be wanting to hear that. I don't. And see, but she be right. Like, when I go back and reflect on it, I'm like, you know what? You're right. I am the problem this week.
And you know what? I will say that she does tell me I'm wrong, but it's usually when I'm trying to play, for lack of a better term, Captain Save-A-Hole. Like, and I will say this, my therapist has been my therapist for like 6 years now. And so she's seen me through different stages of life, like in these short 6 years. Like, we went through a whole pandemic. I've suffered like so many losses, you know what I'm saying? Like losing people that I love that are close to me. So she's seen me like collect trauma, you know what I'm saying? Like Mario coins. Like, she's seen me at different stages. So when I say to her at this stage, like after losing all these people, hearing years of interactions with these same family members, she's like, when I'm like, am I wrong for not, helping them? She like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about all the stuff you've been telling me all this time, girl. What you mean? Are you wrong? So so that she will tell me like, no, you are absolutely wrong for feeling like you owe somebody something. Like, I think, a lot of the times in our community, we preach about loyalty when that's a gift and a curse, especially in a Black family, when we tend to enable each other or our relatives. And so sometimes I personally struggle with like, do I really need to step in and help? You know what I'm saying? Like, I have these younger brothers, like, they're grown men. Like, they're all over 21. Like, they doing everything. And sometimes I'll ask her, like, was I wrong for not helping my brother pay for X, Y, and Z? She like, no, because he, he almost 30 years old.
But I'm going to say this, and you just made me think of something. Loyalty is a big factor that is really hard to digest and assess, especially in a Black household, just in a Black community in general. When it comes to our friends, there's a fine line
between enabling and...
I was just about to say that. There's a fine line between loyalty and enabling someone, and also loyalty and entitlement. It's a fine line between the two, and people try to play on your loyalty. It doesn't mean that you lack loyalty if you set boundaries with somebody. That's not what that means.
Yeah, that's a hard lesson I've had to learn.
Like, and sometimes me knowing you and knowing what type of person you are, I agree with your therapist. I don't even have to hear the conversation. I don't have to be a fly on the wall. You need to take the cape off at the end of the day, because it's not up to you. You have to do, again, I feel like I've told you this before on this pod and probably outside of this pod. You got to do what's in your wheelhouse, and that's it. Who are you to stretch yourself too thin? You can't be nothing to yourself if you're everything to everybody else, Tash.
I know, but and not only in my defense, but just for other people that are out there, I think I speak for all of us, where it's when you started living like that and when you started doing that at a young age, it becomes second nature. It's your muscle memory. Like, in all transparency, like, I started taking care of my dad when I was like 15. You know what I'm saying? Which was crazy because my mom was taking care of me. My mom and my stepdad were together taking care of me and my brother. My dad was literally states away, but I was working and taking care of my father. You know what I'm saying? And that was at a young age.
Wild.
So when you start like that,
the responsible
it becomes who you are. It becomes your nature because you look at it like, well, if I don't do it, it won't get done. And if it doesn't get done, what is the adverse consequence to that? And it's a very toxic way to live. I'm so thankful that I don't live with that burden on my shoulders anymore because I did for such a long time. But yeah, it's a really weird dynamic to have. And until people have lived that, I don't think they understand like what that really feels like, because you feel like if you don't do it, and then you're always taught that you got to love your parents, you got to take care of your parents, you got to honor your parents. So it's kind of like, well, you know, nobody else has stepped up, so I'm going to do it. I did it. And then eventually it just took me becoming a parent. Well, I think before I became a parent, I became aware of how things were becoming between us. And I was like, all right, this is a bit much. But I will also say, for those that are not aware, I didn't become a parent till 33. So that was 18 years of like carrying a load that was just out of control. But before I became a parent, I think I started to shift. But when I became a parent is when I realized that like I essentially could not parent my parent while trying to parent my child. And I drew a hard line. And I think that's when the dynamic between my dad and I really shifted in the way to mold what it is right now, where I can easily say, nah, dog, I ain't even got the energy, the space, or the time to give you right now. It was because I wanted to be the parent for my child that my father wasn't to his children. So that made me say, okay, I can't give my energy here because I have to give it elsewhere. And hey, unfortunately, you ain't the person. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it just became easy in that regard. But I think, unfortunately for me, if things would like if I wouldn't have had a kid when I did have a kid, and like, you know, all the other grief and surrounding losing my kid, I think I would probably still be stuck in this crazy enabling cycle with my dad. So like things happen like they're supposed to, because now I'm like free of that. I'm so free of it.
I was just about to say that. We always say that things happen the way that they're supposed to, and also God works in mysterious ways. But to have that experience is probably what you needed to be able to create those boundaries. And draw a fine line between, you know, your relationship with your parent and what you are willing to sacrifice in alignment with your relationship. That, I know we always say this, but I really feel like we need to write that down to like further expand on. But I do want to ask you something, because with you talking, you just made me think of something I saw on social media today. And I reposted this on my story, but someone by the name of Mac_Kama on Instagram, they posted that the highest love language you have as an adult is often the highest unmet need you had as a child. So I'm curious to know, based off of what you just told me, what's your love language? I feel like I know what it is just based off of what you said.
Which is crazy, because
if his theory checks out.
To me, I'm gonna say his theory doesn't check out, but I okay, so I don't know. So to answer the question, my top 2 of the 5 love languages are acts of service and gifts.
That's interesting, and his theory does check out, because that's exactly what I thought you were gonna say. So he said, if it's acts of service, you were probably the one who had to grow up fast, the fixer, the helper, the caretaker. In your household, you may have been the only one who held it together. You learned to give without expecting anything in return. So now when someone shows up for you without being asked, it feels like love in its purest form.
Ooh, when I tell you, so we're talking about social media. You know the Lil Wayne meme when he like, ooh, like literally, like let him cook, exactly, which is crazy because that's exactly why acts of service are so important. And gifts, which is weird, is because most people would say it's because you didn't get gifts, but I'm a gift giver because my families are gift givers. Like,
Yeah,
we
I'm
show.
gonna get into gifts too. I'm gonna read you that one.
Please
as well.
read it to me because we show each other
because we share the same love language.
To
which
this
is really
day, my
interesting.
mama, like, I'm almost 38 years old. My mama still buy me Easter baskets. She still give me and my brother like Valentine's Day gifts and
same,
stuff. Like,
same.
yeah, so
my
yeah.
mom is the same way.
I'm into that.
So my top 2 love languages are acts of service and gifts as well, for similar reasons. So he said, if you value receiving gifts, it's not about the price tag. It's about knowing someone thought of you. Maybe you felt forgotten, overlooked, or like an afterthought growing up. So now a small gift says, you matter. I see you.
Absolutely.
Is that how you feel?
Absolutely.
Yeah, see?
Absolutely.
I don't know who this man is, but shout out to Matt.
Because even I would say, even taking that just a step further without like going too deep into it, not necessarily even saying overlooked, but sometimes it's about looking at me and what I need. Because I will say in my situation for a long time, like, I'm the only child my parents had together. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, for all intents and purposes, like, you know, being the only grandchild on one different side, you having 2 parents in contentious situation, you sometimes tend to become the center, not necessarily like a pawn, but you become this center of a power struggle in some aspects. And so sometimes it's seeing what I want. Like, I remember, for example, like when I was a kid, my dad, my mom, they would try to buy like Power Wheels, clothes, all this shit that I wanted. You know what I'm saying? And one year, I just wanted fucking LA Gears. I wanted light up gym shoes. My dad, you know, at this point in time is a 90s dope boy. You know what I'm saying? He's not about to buy no LA Gears. He like, well, who about to buy Nike? You know what I'm saying? Who about to buy light up gym shoes? We done bought our Jordans, Nikes, all of this other stuff.
Right.
And I wanted light up gym shoes. My grandmother bought them for me. And when I tell you, nothing mattered but running up and down my grandmama and them steps with the lights off. My grandparents would let me turn the lights off and run, and they had hardwood steps. So just imagine a little badass kid. I'm like 5. I mean, like running up and down these steps just so I could see lights on some gym shoes.
Yeah.
But
that just shows you how simplistic like kids are.
That's all I wanted. I didn't care about, you know, I mean, we talking about the 90s. So these is $50 gym shoes, maybe. You know what I'm saying? The LA Gears was maybe like $20. Maybe less than that, because this was the 90s.
But what does a name brand gym shoe mean to a 5-year-old?
They
haven't been taught to assess the value of these things.
They were pink.
Place so much.
They had little lights on them. They had all kind of stuff. Okay. And speaking of that little story, so just an aside before we move on.
We're not moving on because I haven't told people my good news yet.
Okay, well, before we get to your good news, just a crazy aside. So we got them shoes, and I remember, I think at the time we were either living in Ypsi, which is Ypsilanti, Michigan, for those that are not local,
or Ypsilanti,
Ypsilanti, as my girl Carisha say, or Ann Arbor. We were living either place, and both are maybe probably like an hour away from Metro Detroit, give or take. And me, my dad, and my godfather were in a car together. Well, it's not my official godfather, but my Uncle Dave, I guess I could call him. And the car caught on fire.
Oh, my God.
And we had to, my dad grabbed me. We had to run across the freeway, blah, 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 get to safety. They left my damn LA Gears in that car.
Oh,
I just remember my daddy grabbing me out the car saying, Tash, come on. And I'm screaming, my shoes. And when my grandparents came to get us from where we were, I just kept crying. My granddad kept saying, what's wrong with the girl? What's wrong with her? And I was like, my shoes burned up in the car. And everybody was like, what the hell? And I probably had them for a month or 2, and they burnt up in the car.
That's so sad. I'm
R.I.P.
sorry.
my LA Gears, because my daddy definitely never bought me another pair after that.
Don't you worry, Tash. I'm going to get you a pair of LA Gears.
I'll pass. I appreciate the sentiment, but no thank you.
What's that shoe you have? I'm going to get them anyway.
No thank you. So tell us what's
That's
good. Give us your good news.
I'm cracking up because I'm just thinking about
Don't laugh at
you
me,
wearing
man.
these gym shoes.
Man. I was so mad. I was so devastated.
I'm thinking about you wearing them now as an adult.
Please.
And I'd be like, no, put on the gym shoes with that outfit.
No, if you buy me something, I'm only going to Coachella. I wear them to Coachella.
Wear your gym shoes to the office.
I be walking around upstairs on a little walking track during lunch break.
No, you going on a date? Put them gym shoes on. Those will look good.
Absolutely not. You might as well buy me a jersey dress to put on with
I bought them for you to wear. I thought you liked them. You don't have to cry no more about them. No, so okay, let me jump back on track. That's so funny.
Out of control.
So my good news, very simple but very important. I got a haircut this past week, last week to be exact. Shout out to Cece and Novi. She did a wonderful job on my hair. And let me tell you something about the service. I just love going places where I feel valued. She was punctual. She was very kind. We had a great conversation. She was very knowledgeable about hair care, which is very important to me. And she was very attentive to what my goals were. So she asked me a lot of questions about, what I wanted to do. And I've had a couple inches. Let me go back in time. I've cut off all my hair at some point in time because I just wanted to. And I was tired of it at that point. But now, I feel like I'm kind of walking into a new era of myself, kind of trying to revamp myself slowly but surely. Part of that was me getting this haircut, and I have some nice layers. Right now, Tash, you looking at my hair they're not.
I'm not looking at her hair like that. I'm waiting on her to finish this story because I want to tell y'all how much hell she put me through about this haircut, okay? Because she was not confident that it was going to come out right. And I understand it. Everybody be a little scared.
I mean, yeah, but you got to also keep in mind, I'm somebody that typically does my own hair. So the washing, the overall maintenance of my hair, I'm either doing it myself or it's braided or, I'm wearing it in a bun. It's very rare that I wear my hair out and that I have a silk press, phone and going. So much so that when I do, people be like, that's all your hair? And I'm like, yes, it is. But I did cut a couple inches off, and she gave me some nice definition. So I'm looking forward to rocking this style and just seeing how it develops over time. Now, I don't want y'all to be shocked when you see me with a little bit longer tresses, if you will. Because you know how black girls do, I might want to switch it up. So just act accordingly. It's still all my hair. I bought it.
But that's what
now,
I'm
what's
saying.
The hell I put you through?
She was so worked up about this haircut. What if it don't work? And I was like, so what are you gonna do if it don't work? But I'm a person. I will cut my hair. I don't care. My mom does hair, and my mom for years wore she didn't wear a fade, but when I tell you it was shorter than a pixie for years. I ain't never seen my mama with long hair. I can't even remember going back and looking at pictures before my mama had me outside of her being in high school with long hair. So I'll cut my hair. I don't care. I'll just wake up one day and cut it all off. And so Diamond was so worked up about this hair. And I was like, y'all, it's going to work out. It'll be cute. And then she got it cut and I was cute. And now she ain't got nothing to say because she oh yeah, I want to shout out to stylist. But she didn't want to tell y'all about the stress. Well, but before the haircut.
It doesn't matter. Cece made my dreams come true. So thanks, Cece. Cece and Novi. Check her out. Her name is Cece Brantley on Instagram, I believe. So if you guys are interested in getting hair care services, I highly recommend her. She's very sweet, very professional. Don't mind what Tash is talking about. It's just let me back it up. I had a little bit of a hair disaster earlier this year. No, last year. When I put this skunk stripe in my hair.
Before I had to redo it.
Yeah, so Tash actually came and redid and touched up my skunk stripe. But the first go round of me doing it, you know what I was looking at? a young lady on TikTok who had done it, and it looked exactly how I wanted it to look. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to get all the things that she has. That shit fried my hair right in the front, this little patch. Gratefully, thankfully, my hair has grown back quite a bit. It's thriving. I have no complaints as of right now. And for some reason, people think that this stripe is new, and I'm like, this little peep of color. I'm like, no, this is significantly grown out. But that's why I was kind of skeptical about it, because I'm like, is it going to, like, what if I don't like it? What if it's another
That's crazy, because believe it or
disaster?
not, I've had to do that so many times for my friends. Like in high school, I had to correct somebody's color. I had to do it a few times in college. Like when I was in law school, I used to be like twisting locks and doing color. And I used to color my own hair at one point in time. And the only reason why my hair, and it's crazy because I don't want to say this like, and you know, like call nobody out. But the only reason why my hair really ain't blonde right now, outside of just me wanting to change because of the grief, is because me and my mom have been coloring, like bleaching this platinum blonde in my hair for years. Like she's been doing it, or I've been doing it. Like the way I did your skunk stripe, I mixed the products and everything. Even when I needed somebody to do the back of my hair, like I would mix my color and I would let Asia do the back and I would do the front. Like I would do my own hair and I would never have problems with my hair breaking off, ever. Same products I use on your hair, same products I use on mine, on everybody else's, because that's what my mom used to use. Well, and sure enough, I caught myself going to like a big name natural hair salon here in the city, and I caught myself letting her touch my hair up. And when she touched my hair up, she processed it so much. My hair started drying out and it was just miserable. My hair was horrible after that. It felt like straw. And so now I want to go back blonde, and I think I'm going to, but if I do, if Charmaine ain't doing it, meaning my mom, if Charmaine ain't doing my hair or I ain't doing it, it just won't get done. Because baby, I've never had any problems with my blonde.
90s touch.
I never had any problems with that blonde baby. Shout out to the night. Yes, that's exactly what that is.
Because if my mama do anything to my hair, like I never have a problem.
Nope. Listen, when my mama do anything to my hair, I don't care what it is, it turn out right.
Yep.
You go to anybody else, it just be a toss up. That's why I go to the person I do go to now. If I'm not getting my hair braided, shout out to Trinae. If you need your hair done, I can't think of the name, what the name of her salon is, but y'all can ask me if y'all need to know. But my girl Trinae, she does hair in Ferndale, or is it Royal Oak? She on Woodward, just know that. But she's one of the 90s stylists too. So she's been helping me get my hair back into the space it needs to be into. Like she did my pixie when I got my grief cut and all of that other stuff, and she's very good, very health conscious when it comes to your hair and scalp. So shout out to Trinae, because she's also a great stylist.
Let me just backtrack, because I realized I gave y'all the wrong the wrong handle for CC. It is CC Brantley Beauty on Instagram. So if you happen to be looking, check her out, or check out Trinae. Yes. You know,
Trinae got an Instagram, but I think it's like Hey Is Nay. But like I said, Trinae a 90s stylist, baby. She ain't all on socials and all that stuff, baby. You got to go get that goodness in person. But no, she's really good. She's definitely taking care of the health of my hair in the absence of my mama.
That's so lovely. Well, you know, I know you said that your segments kind of overlap, so we did talk a little bit about mind, body, and balance for you.
So do you have a sound check? I'll let you do your sound check first.
Well, I do want to just go back and give people a fun fact about that falls under mind, body, and balance. I found this and I thought it was so interesting because it was something that I did not know. So did you guys know that the body can produce enough heat in just a half hour to boil water?
Yeah, girl, you ever seen my silk press while I'm in the gym?
I didn't know that.
I could be in there for 15 minutes, okay? It's a reverb.
Yeah,
what?
Yeah, you know, I had somebody laughing because one of my coworkers, I was just like, you know, it's raining outside, and she's like, oh, you know, your hair be fine. I'm like, girl, no, like I need to like wrap this up or put a cap on. I said, because if I go out there without anything,
it's a wrap.
my hair is gonna look like a Jackson 5, bro.
But to that point, like kind of on topic, but off topic, as far as mind body balance, that kind of fact makes me scared to go through menopause.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't think I'm scared of much.
I've seen people like
as a
actively
woman,
going
smoking,
through,
like
yeah,
their
like
body
they be
emits a
burning
heat.
up,
Oh,
yeah, and they
see,
like just they would just come up out their clothes like in a minute.
See,
so
that's the kind of stuff that makes me scared that I'm gonna go to prison. Like, and I don't want to be a 70-year-old lady in prison. Well, I ain't gonna say 70. I'll probably be going through menopause by then. But I don't want to be like 55 in prison. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I already be on. Like, I already be on edge as it is. But let my body be emitting smoke and you come at me on some bull jive.
on some bull jive.
ain't no way I ain't gonna lose it, okay? Like,
smoke it.
That's exactly what I'm gonna be doing, okay? Because what?
God. So look, check this out. Each hour, the human body creates 350,000 joules of energy, which creates the same amount of energy as a 100-watt light bulb. So this ends up being enough heat to boil a half gallon of water in just 30 minutes. I think that's pretty impressive. It's a further testament of how miraculous the human body is,
and also a testament of how we keep saying working out is spiritual, and you getting that energy revved up, and you just said, you gotta,
that is true.
I'm telling you,
oh
you gotta
my God.
work
I just realized what you're referring to.
You gotta work out.
We had a little conversation before this, and I get what you're referring to.
You gotta work out.
But in my defense,
get the energy.
I've been, nursing this ankle injury, and now I just got my hair done. I don't know about y'all, but I'm trying to make this last. I'm trying to get my money's worth, okay? So I don't want to go to the gym right now.
Absolutely not.
I just asked Tash, I just asked you last week, you think I go to the gym with this? And you absolutely not. Tash was like, absolutely not.
I'm not about to feed you no lies. No ma'am.
You might as well hang that up for the next couple weeks.
I went and got my hair done. I ain't go to the gym for 2.5 weeks. After that, I finally decided to do something to it so I could go to the gym.
This gotta last. So, my hair was way cuter yesterday. I had like freshened up my curls, but I've been like pin curling it. I just didn't pin curl it last night, ain't gonna lie. But it's been lasting. So, all that to say, yeah, you could boil some water with your body heat, and I don't think a lot of people knew that. So that's my health and wellness, or mind, body, and balance portion. Now I do want to jump into sound check, because I actually was thinking about this as I was pulling up. Carrie Hilson is making a comeback, and
says who?
Oh my God, it's always something with you.
So don't get me wrong. I used to like Carrie.
Why you don't like Carrie now?
I didn't say I don't like Carrie now. I just don't understand what comeback she's making. Like,
I feel like Carrie's kind of been a little under the radar, if you will. When you think about, if I'm going back and thinking about Carrie Hilson in high school and how her career was jumping. I mean, she had hits after hits when I was in high school versus now, and the years prior to, she's been, kind of quiet, if you will. She hasn't been.
That's my point about what kind of comeback you about to make, girl. Because we ain't heard from you in almost 20 years.
Listen, I feel like this is a good time. I'm excited, honestly.
When Charlie Wilson went away for 20 years and came back, he was on crack.
What?
Yes, he said he was homeless. He was sleeping on the side of on the street, like literally. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, girl, you had the opportunity to come back. That man was on dope, and he came back because he finally got himself together.
Hey, Uncle Charlie.
Listen.
I love me some Uncle Charlie.
Absolutely. Love him. But that's a story. That's how you make a comeback, is because you had all that going on. But it's like, my whole thing, when I say why you coming back, it's kind of like you didn't have no reason for you to be away. You were just not making music, and then now you just decided to make music. It's kind of like, why now?
I mean, I feel like,
is that why you went on the Shade Room and cleared the air about your little Beyonce diss record?
Tosh,
I just want to know.
I made a note about that because I don't know what the beef is between her and Beyonce.
There wasn't a beef.
I am
but
somebody.
Polo the Don. Let me
get my part out.
Clear, a male orchestrated it.
Oh
yes,
Polo the Don. He is handsome.
before or after the coke?
I don't know because I haven't seen him recently.
I sat at a hibachi table with him
back in the day
at Benihana, and it was just weird. Like, it was a weird experience because
that's
drugs
so sad.
were prevalent, and you can tell that him and his entourage were just on some other type of time.
Well, that's so unfortunate to hear. Let me go back and just say I never got into what the beef was about. Because I'm just able to appreciate people's music without, I don't have to know the backstory, what's going on. But I'm going to also add in, we don't know what Carrie's experience has been like being in the industry. Also being someone who is, in my opinion, she's a super creative because she is the pen. Like, she's been writing for a lot of people. She's written for a lot of people. She has credits on songs that you probably wouldn't even think that she has credits on. So I think that's part of it. But, the larger part is just not knowing what somebody's personal experience has been and everything that led up to her saying, you know what, I need to take a break from this shit. Or maybe she said, just fuck it all together. Well, we don't know.
I do personally know. I used to actually know her father. Family friend of mine. Yeah, he used to go by Skip. So R.I.P. Skip. He actually passed away. Her dad's a very nice guy. We used to drink wine at this place called Vino Libre in Atlanta, which is since closed. That's a whole nother story. But which is, you're lending the point, what I was trying to say about why make this comeback. Most of us that are familiar with the entertainment industry and how it works understand full well that writers usually typically make more than the actual artist. It's less overhead you have to pay out. You're getting this lump sum. You're writing, and you can write for multiple artists at a time. You don't have to worry about touring. You don't have to worry about this image. You don't have to worry about anything. You're writing, you're getting your check. You're just living your life in peace. And that's why what my question is for somebody who has and let me say this, and I mean this with all sincerity, because if I'm not mistaken, she went to the same high school I went to. I think she went to Southwest DeKalb, but if not, she went to the same county of high schools I went to in Atlanta. She's extremely educated, not just from high school, but from other education. I don't understand why someone of her caliber, and I say this with compliment, would want to come back to a messy ass entertainment industry outside of just writing. You see what I'm saying? Like, because you're getting your money. Just write, girl, and get your money. Why come back and try to deal with the politics of all these young girls and them being hypersexualized and over-sexual? She's such a genuine spirit as a woman. Why would you want to come back and deal with all that? She seems like it. Yeah, like, why would you want to come back and deal with all that mess? Like, that's what I look at it as. It's like a burden. So I'm like, why?
I can see that perspective too, though, like from what you're saying. But a couple of things, I thought the opposite about writers, like only because of what I've heard in terms of like some artists who have written, and they talk about how writers are underpaid in the industry. Like, they don't make enough, or they don't make what they should, and it depends on who you're writing for, which makes sense, right? But I think that for someone like Carrie Hilson, who appears to be a very grounded person, and she appears to be a genuine person, maybe it's not about the politics of the industry. Maybe she feels like this is an ideal time for her to come in, and maybe she thinks that she has a better handle on whatever, was going on and fueling her decision to leave. And then also, for some people, it's just simply about the passion. It's kind of one of those things, like, if you enjoy being on stage and you enjoy singing and you are talented in the ways that she is, because she is extremely talented, let's not get it twisted. Carrie done had some bops, and Carrie I love her voice, and I love just her music.
And see, that's how I feel about Tidra Moses. Super underrated.
Tidra Moses,
but when you compare those two, you see what I mean? Like, Tidra never stopped. Like, EP after EP, she's been putting Moses out music. I was just watching an interview with her the other day. She got 200% of her publishing, because she done wrote, produced, she done kept her. Listen,
girl,
people sleep on Tidra. Okay,
shout out to Tidra Moses.
Oh.
because
Listen.
Tidra Moses is just
business sense, talented,
beautiful,
down to earth, beautiful,
yeah,
genuine.
she is amazing.
She is who she says she is, but she's one of those people, as like I was just pointing to, is like she don't care about being in the industry. Like, you know what I'm saying? She didn't care about the deals. She didn't care about none of that. It was, I do this for the passion. So I never stopped doing it. I've been doing it, whether y'all recognizing me or not, because guess what? It's a passion. I see it.
Right. But again, I feel like, yes, that could have been very well the story for Carrie too. But then you have other
her grief, and she lost her father and all that.
But
other
I mean,
stuff,
you have other things at play, you know, that people have talked about, and I've heard about, you know, this whole Carrie versus Beyonce kind of thing. I never got into like the granular details of it, but maybe that was, you know, a factor of why she decided to take a break. Maybe it was too much. We don't know. I mean, and in due time, maybe she will share that. But I just feel that this is a good time for her to make a comeback, and she's been sharing snippets of her upcoming project on Instagram, and I'm excited. Like, I'm excited to hear it. It sounds like what we need.
I'll definitely check it out.
The millennials. I feel like it's what we need for those of us who love Carrie Hilson. So shout out to Carrie Hilson.
Speaking of that, so to segue into another sound check portion, speaking of what we need, if you're talking about Carrie Hilson, this episode of The Soulful Stir has been brought to you by Ladybug Organics. Ladybug Organics is a 100% Black woman-owned apothecary. Ladybug Organics offers a host of 100% vegan and organic condition and body oils. Ladybug Organics is known for their Tash Tonic stimulating hair growth oil. It is a 100% organic scalp oil that stimulates hair growth follicles as well as soothes the scalp. They also are known for their Mr. Beard Stuff, which is a highly sought after beard oil for the fellas, as well as their Body Slick body oils that comes in 4 different fragrances. Shop with Ladybug Organics and check them out online at www.ladybug with 2 G's, so that is LADYBUGG organics.com. Also, all of their socials are Ladybug Organics as well. They have a platform on Instagram as well as Facebook, and would love for you to follow as well as shop. You know, we need genuine R&B back. And I say that because I tend to sit back and think of like songs that really just got you in your feels. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even if it was songs that you weren't experiencing. And you know what is an underrated album? People tend to sleep on, okay? And, you know, I call this the Hot Girl Auntie album because my aunties used to listen to this back in the day, and I know they made them feel good. It was Secrets by Toni Braxton. Like, people don't think it like the way, first of all, the very first track is Come On Over Here.
Absolutely.
And the way the beat dropped on that, when I tell you, whatever they was doing over there at LaFace, they was doing it, okay?
Listen.
So that will make you feel like I can listen to that from beginning to end. Don't get me wrong. I'll put on Toni Braxton from here, you know, every once in a while, like her actual album, like the first album. I'll put on Heat, and maybe like one or two of her other albums. Heat was good because Spanish Guitar was on that one.
Yes, Heat was a great album.
He was good. But baby, Secrets.
Yeah.
Find Me a Man.
Find Me a Man.
No, but Talking in His Sleep.
That's my jam.
What? Listen, people.
Why Should I Care?
Like, it's that entire album, okay?
Yes, top to bottom.
And every last
That's a great album.
Was just, I mean, immaculately done from beginning to end. Like, just everything about that album. Absolutely perfect. So that's like my sound check for this week. So if y'all have not, or if you are not familiar with Secrets by Toni Braxton, especially for my ladies, especially for my 30 plus ladies, please go listen to this. Like, do me and Diamond a favor, do yourself a favor. If you at any given time felt the love and the understanding and just the vibes of the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack,
yes,
Secrets ain't too far off. Like, you gotta play this track this album from beginning to end and just let it ride. Put it on while you're on your way to work.
Let It Flow. Let It Flow was on the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's one of the
put it on.
We forgot a couple other songs that was on here though. Unbreak My Heart.
Unbreak My Heart was good.
That's probably one of the most popular ones that was on this album. Unbreak My Heart and what's the
I Love Me Some Him.
I Love Me Some Him. That's my jam.
That's it. That's it. Oh my gosh. Like that album is everything. If you have not had the pleasure of just sitting in your grown womanism, like
this is an album you put on a silk robe with a little lingerie and drink some wine.
I was
and
about
just
to say,
and listen to it.
Even if not, like if you at home by yourself
in a car,
or if you them kids and that man gone and you got some time, pour you a little cocktail, make you a cocktail, pour you a glass of wine. Start cooking your dinner, whatever you gotta do. Listen, you can put the laundry on. You can do.
Yeah, you really could.
And this album is going to get you where you need to be. Like, it is just the album for a grown woman. And speaking of grown, so just to segue a little bit into a rhythm and groove, just because we on this topic of Toni Braxton.
Okay, segue.
So, I was, scrolling the socials, as I like to say. And so there's a post that's been going around, and I just want to know how you feel about this. So they say Toni Braxton and Birdman secretly married on August 8th, 2024. 2 weeks later, Toni filed for divorce, claiming that their marriage was irretrievably broken and that their listed date of separation was August 10th, 2024, meaning like 2 days, like 48 hours. Yeah. But she rescinded the petition and called off the divorce in January, and he approved. So they're still married. So like, like, what's your take on that? Because like 2 days, 48 hours. When y'all already had rumors going around like 3 years ago that y'all was married?
A part of me is just like, shit, that's their business. But the other part, I mean, since you're asking for my opinion on it, I feel like, to me, that yields that something been going on.
Yeah. Well, look, while you doing that, I'm doing my little research. Let me see something.
It doesn't seem like that's something like...
Okay, so
I can't
she's
imagine
a Libra,
doing that.
and he's an Aquarius.
Huh.
So maybe that's... I don't know.
You think it's just incompatibility?
I don't know. Like, it's just... I don't really know much about them. Like, I know about an Aquarius. I know about a Libra. I don't know about them together. But regardless of what them together looks like on paper...
Yeah.
2 days is crazy work.
2 days is insane. I mean,
because technically
only they know what happened.
Well, technically, I'm gonna put my legal spin on this. 2 days is not even a divorce. That's an annulment. Yeah. So why would you file for a divorce 2 days later? You would just file to have your marriage annulled, and if you guys both agree, it's done right away. Like, it doesn't take a time of processing like a divorce would. An annulment is usually instantaneous once the petition is filed, because you have to do it. The statute of limitations is such a small window for an annulment to register versus a divorce. So that's why I'm like,
maybe something happened and she felt the need to threaten him in that way.
But to girl, like, what?
Oh, you think I'm playing with you? Let me show you what I will do. Yes, I will leave you. Maybe it's one of those situations. I don't know. I feel that that's not something that I would do. Obviously, most people would not. I've
always felt that they were an odd pair.
I don't think that most people will.
I've always felt that they were an odd pair, but I also know that opposites attract, and what people look like on the outside and what they portray. Unfortunately, well, I ain't gonna say unfortunately, but just an aside, I do have a bit of history with dating people, of the street life mentality. And sometimes they come off physically and by reputation, they come off as a different person than what they truly are, especially with their partners, especially with their women. So we might see, Birdman as being Birdman, and Toni see him as Brian. You know what I'm saying? To her, he might be Brian.
His name Brian?
Yeah, his name is Brian. He has a regular, like, you see what I'm saying? He has a regular government name. Like, you know what I'm saying? His name, like not like DeMarquez and nothing, like, you know, Quintavious. And nothing. His name is Brian Williams. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
wow.
Yeah. Like,
well, you know,
Mr.
shout
Williams.
out to them. I hope that they find a way to work through their troubles. But
yeah, like, I really
that's
like
definitely
them. I think they're an odd couple, but I would really love to see them actually persevere and win, like,
it's something about
and have
them
some
that
longevity.
works.
Yeah, it just works. Like I said, because I really think beyond the surface, you know, she gets Brian, and Brian is not who we know as Birdman. You know, even though we did see Birdman kiss Lil Wayne in the mouth on the awards, that's a whole nother story.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No,
they kissed. I guarantee you, it's pictures on the internet. Like, look right now. Look up your device. You got good service. Look it up. We got Wi-Fi in here. Look that up. They kissed. And I think that's crazy too. But once again, let me tell you something. As far as Brian and Tony are concerned, I think I do want them to work. I really like black couples to win, period. Like, I want them to, you know, kind of work this out and things to, you know.
It looks like they're at like a white party or something. Honestly,
I can't believe you didn't remember this. There's like a video on another.
I don't know. Like, I feel like this might even be in the age of like, I always want to.
Girl, this definitely wasn't no AI. This was so long ago. This was in like 2002.
I'm not saying AI.
Look how little bitty Lil Wayne dreads was.
I'm saying the age of Coral and Photoshop. You know, that's when shit could have got popping. Somebody could have photoshopped this shit.
They didn't deny it.
Maybe
they did it on Rap City and then on 106 in Park.
Look what just popped up. Why would that pop up?
Please explain to the people what you just saw.
It's a picture. As I'm Googling this image, there's a picture of... I can't even
get it. Y'all. I can't even...
There's a picture of Birdman and Lil Wayne posed like the cover of The Notebook, the movie. So if you're familiar with what that film art looks like, it's the guy holding the girl and they're like... I feel like we should post this on our page. I don't know.
Please do it. Please, we're going to post it. Just send it to me and I'll post it. I'm going to post it on the TikTok too.
Let me just save it because I'm like, why would that pop up?
Because that's crazy.
People are very interesting.
Those are the things that I like the internet for. Like, if y'all gonna be ignorant on the internet, post stuff like that. That's gonna make me laugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't post ignorant stuff for me to be like, all right, y'all just wasting my time.
I always feel like with pictures like that, like there's some room for like question. I feel like because I'm looking at all the aspects of the photo and I'm looking at the hue of the darkness. Like, it looks like they could have just been really close having a conversation.
Once we get off air, I'm gonna send you this link. It's a link. And like somebody asked him in an interview and Birdman addressed it. Like, it's an actual interview. We can't listen to it right now because we ain't about to get on copyright infringement on our show. We 6 episodes in.
Yes,
but
I understand.
There's a whole ordeal. Yeah.
Well, you know, that's a hill for another day, I guess.
Yes.
I do have a question for you. And my homegirl actually posted this on her Facebook page. Shout out to Ryan Kelly, who is also an amazing podcaster. She's just an amazing human being in general. I am looking forward to having her on our show because she brings such an interesting perspective to everything. And she's so fun and so loving and so loyal. But all of that to say, Ryan posted this question on her Facebook page, and it was such a thought-provoking question for me. It made me sit down and really think, damn, how would I answer this question? So the question is, without saying provider or protector, what are the top 3 things you seek in a partner? And I'm like, damn, the first thing that would come to mind are, you know, those 2 things, provider, protector, for most people.
It's crazy because I think I saw that post and it was like, what would I say to that? Like, I was asking myself, but when you just posed that question again, the first thing that came to mind, I don't know why, but it was like understanding. Like, that's the first thing that came to mind was understanding, especially because I feel and this is not in a negative way, but I just feel like, you know, because of the way life has happened, I carry an unusual amount of trauma. And I need a partner who understands. Like, I don't want, you know, someone who doesn't understand that, like, girl, you done lost a lot. Like, lost a whole lot. And sometimes that may make you feel and react and respond to things that are not tradition in ways that are not traditional, but that's because you've been dealt a life that's very unconventional. You know what I'm saying? And I need someone who is very understanding of, like, girl, you lost your kid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And amongst other things.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of plays into one of my top things that I listed, which is looking for my partner to be a soundboard. I think that's a part of understanding. And what I mean by a soundboard, I'll use this example. When I'm working with my clients in the space of birth work, sometimes my clients call me and they may just be in just an emotional wreck, if you will. And I will ask them, what do you need from me in this moment? Do you want me to give you advice? Or do you want for me to be a soundboard? And with me being a soundboard, I'm just simply here to listen and to provide a level of understanding that you may not be able to get elsewhere. So I do look for that in my partner.
It's so funny that you say that, because I said that to someone the other day. I said literally, like, you know, I don't always need you to lecture me. Like, it was literally like, you know, sometimes I just want you to listen to me, because
it's annoying.
I am very confident. And I'm not saying this in a arrogant way, like I know what's best for me. You know, I'm the only person that know what's right. But most of the time, I know what I have to do, but sometime before I can do it, I want to clear out the other energy that doesn't need to be there. And to get that out requires me to say it.
Right.
And I want to say it in a safe space. And so if I come to you, and sometimes it's not like I need you to say, this is what you should do. I just want to say, this is what I'm feeling. I'm upset about this. And I want you to be like, okay, I understand. You're absolutely right. I just want to get it out. Sometimes I just want to audibly say it in a space that I feel like I can communicate that without feeling like someone is judging me. I don't necessarily need the extras that come along with it.
Right.
I just want to say what I need to say so I can move on to the next phase of whatever this is, you know.
No, I think that's important, and I'm glad that you are talking about this, because I have friends that sometimes they just go automatically into lecture mode. And I know that it comes from a place of love, because they are people who seek solutions. You know, when you have friends, or when they have friends that come to them with their issues, but sometimes I just want to vent. I may already have the solution loaded up, right? But I just, I already know what I'm about to do about it. I just want somebody to talk to and just to listen to me, because you do have to get it out in order to clear your energy. In some type of way, you got to get it out. So I'm going to go on to add, I had 2 other things, because she asked for 3. Okay. So I said, I look for my partner to be a mirror and to be a co-pilot. And being a mirror, I feel like, is so important. And I think that it's something that is highly overlooked. So when I say be a mirror, I expect for my partner to hold me accountable, to be my reflection and allow me to see the things that I may not see just in my everyday life. You know, call me out on my bullshit if I'm slacking on something. I'm not saying be a hypercritical partner or anything like that, but I think that in partnership we have a divine responsibility to hold each other accountable, because accountability is how you grow. Yeah. And if you can't hold your partner who you are intimate with in, you know, a different way than what you are with your friends or your family members, how can you grow with them, you know, if they can't hold you accountable? So I said a mirror, and then a co-pilot, because I believe in co-piloting, if you will, in a relationship. One person for me, I don't want one person to be in control, which means I don't want to always be in control. I don't always want my partner to have to be in control either. So I look for someone that I can hand off the headset to and say, oh, you know what? I'm going to let you take the lead on this because I'd rather not. Or maybe this is not my area of expertise and I'm cool with that. But I look for that because I am someone who's used to being the responsible one in my family and the one who people come to for solutions. And it feels good to be in a relationship where I don't have to do that all the time.
And so it's so interesting because, like we said, the whole point of us doing this whole thing is because we're so much alike, but we're so different. So it's funny that you say co-pilot, because when I think of number 2, I haven't even made it to number 3 yet. But when I think of number 2, it's funny that you use the term co-pilot and I instantly say leader. Because though I don't want anybody to run me per se. And I do want it to be a group effort or a team effort amongst us when it comes to making major decisions. But I seek a leader. I don't know if it's because of where I am in terms of like age or just stage in life. And once again, like I said earlier, I started taking care of my father at 15.
Right.
So that was a super growing up super early. Like I've been hyper independent, which is crazy because I've been hyper independent but spoiled at the same time. My father's father knew I was taking care of my father, but my grandfather took care of me. He made sure I was okay. My mama made sure I was okay, but they knew I was taking care of my daddy. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like they weren't gonna tell me to I don't know why they didn't say like don't, and they did. Don't get me wrong, they did say don't do this, but whatever. I say all that to say I was spoiled but hyper independent at the same time, because even though I was spoiled, everybody that knows me knows from high school up until now, I've always had a job, multiple jobs at a time. And I say all that to say that I've always been in charge, whether it's been in familial situations, just amongst my peers, amongst co-workers. I've been supervising. I've been running businesses. I've been a landlord. I've been in so many supervisory positions in my life.
Yeah.
I want a husband that's going to do everything. Like, I don't want to like check out and just be like one of those ditzy wives that is just like, oh, I don't know nothing. My husband got everything. Like, I want us to educate each other mutually on like the inner workings of the house. Like, I want to be a traditional woman. I want to take care of my man. I want to take care of my kids. But I also want him to know like, oh, she don't feel good today. I'm a cook, and I want to know that, oh, we still got everything we need. If something happens to him, I know where the bills are. I know how to get to this. I know how to take care of that. But I just want somebody to just take control. Like, but I don't want someone who's like an aggressive control freak, but I want someone who can confidently say like, I got you. I know what you want. I know what you need. And I'm going to lead us down that path.
Right. So I think, what we desire is similar, if not the same. I just think the terminology we use is different, because that's how I view a co-pilot. It's what, like I said, I can hand off the headset and say, hey, yeah, you take over this part of the flight. Like, I'm good. I can kick back. I don't have to, be in control. But I also trust that my intuition and my own leader mindset is what may be best depending on the situation. If I'm more of an expert, for example, something as simple as cooking and just, running a household, that's probably more my speed, and more in most situations. So me knowing that, okay, cool, I got this. But like you said, it is very fruitful to have a partner that's like, I know she don't feel good today. I got this. Or if you have children, I'll take the kids or whatever. And you can trust them to do what they say that they're going to do. And you don't have to worry about having to call and follow up and say, hey, did you do X, Y, and Z? Nah, he got it. I don't have to worry about it.
And I think that's why I use the term leader, because and maybe this is just my personal thing, because I joke, it's always little memes that be like, Capricorns want you to be mind readers, but essentially I do. Like, so when I say leader, I don't want to have to call you and say, hey, you see what I'm saying? Like how, like you said in my explanation, I want you to see that I need you to step in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to have to call you and be like, babe, when you get home from work today, I need you to cook because of such and such and such and such. I need you to be intuitive enough. Like, I need you to be a leader, a self-starter, a self-motivator, to be like, when I talked to my lady today, she didn't sound like she was, you know, if you call me and say, babe, how's work? And I say, I'm having a bad day. I don't want to get home for you to say, oh, if you had a bad day, I'll cook. I want to get home and you say, babe, I've already started dinner, because you told me you were having a bad day when I talked to you earlier. So that's the reason why I think the word leader is what I chose, is because it's more of a self-motivated, self-starter. Like, I'm going to get the ball rolling on this. You ain't got to tell me you need it, because I'm already peeping. Like, I already peep game. I see what you need, and I'm going to take control without you saying anything. And I like that. Like, that's super sexy to me.
Let me ask you this, though. If you find the man
the man of God.
if you find a means
in the means.
If you find a man that has everything that you desire in a partner, but he's not necessarily a self-starter, but he will do what you request of him, or you sense that this is something that he can be taught, like he's teachable, would you be willing to teach him? Or do you just already want him to come ready-made in a package?
That's I feel like that's a slippery slope. And I only say that because I'm not saying that it can't be taught, but what I'm saying is I don't want to be the one to have to teach it. Like, I feel like that's a certain thing that comes with manly confidence. And I'm a woman. And if I'm supposed to be a soft, feminine specimen, how can I teach you how to be manly? How can I teach you, or why should I be teaching you how to walk in your manly confidence? Like, if I'm already making myself available to you as your woman, as your wife, as your fiance, as of whatever I am to you, then you should be confident that you have the ability or the power or the whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? To like treat me a certain way or give me what I desire. What are we doing? Like, it's really weird.
I understand what you're saying. You just made me just think of a couple different things, because I feel I don't mind teaching someone, because I've been with, or experienced, I won't say been with, I've experienced partners who have never experienced someone like me, and I can tell that they don't know how to handle me, if you will, in that light, or they tell me through their experience, when we talk about previous partners, how horrible some of their partners had been prior to, and so they didn't understand or receive the level of understanding that I was offering to them, or just the willingness to be led, to teach, to say, hey, I understand that this was your experience with your past partner, but this is some shit that I'm not going to go for. Now, am I going to continue to hand out those lessons and live a life with someone where I have to constantly teach them how to treat me and how to show up in a relationship for it to work? No, I'm not doing that. But I do believe that I feel that we should be more open to teaching people, because what people don't know, they absolutely don't know. The other part of it, or what they've never experienced, they don't know. Maybe they had a partner that did not require much of them, or maybe they had a partner that wasn't even thinking on our level of how we think, how we operate as women, how we desire to operate in our womanhood. Maybe they had a partner that wasn't even thinking like that. Maybe they just had a partner that was using them, if you will. So it's all these different layers that I like to consider when talking about partnership, and how, or what my expectations are for the people that I've been involved with.
I 100% agree with that. But to go back to your last point and bring those two together, for one, I feel like I don't feel like I'm about to teach nobody. Like I've been in that space, and maybe because of where I am, like I'm almost 38 years old. I only date men that are my age or older. Mm-hmm. If you haven't at this stage learned how to be a man, I can't teach you. Nobody can. Like, that's one thing. So when I was younger, definitely I would teach. But at this age, I'm not. Like, I just don't have the time. Nobody has the time for that. But I also say that too, you can't say that you want a woman of a certain caliber, and then when you get that woman, you're scared or you're timid or you don't know how to act. That's what I mean. Like, I can't teach you how to be a man because for one, the type of woman I am, I don't really approach men. So for you to approach me and get to a point where you're courting me and you've had conversations with me, especially somebody like me, because I'm bold. I'm going to tell you who I am. I'm going to tell you what I don't like. I'm going to tell you what I do like. I'm not going to hold back on those things. So if we having these conversations and we talking about this and you've piqued my interest enough for me to even be dating you, you know that I'm a certain type of woman. If you have not been with that type of woman before, you need to kind of fix that before we move forward. Like and that's why I'm one of those people that I agree with when society is like, as a man, if you don't have your stuff together, you don't need to be dating. Mm-hmm. Like, you shouldn't be going for women of a high caliber if you can't think or handle a high caliber woman. Don't want to be with me because I have a lot going on. And then when I'm telling you I can't sit up and go on a date with you because I have work and I have businesses and things to tend to, you're upset. You can't want something of a certain level and you're not willing to operate on that level yourself, which is why I say I ain't willing to teach, because you can't sit out here and say you want me or you're impressed with a woman of my caliber, but I got to teach you how to be with a woman of my caliber.
Yeah, I just think that it depends on what it is. Like, really, for me, like, that's what it really comes down to, because I totally understand what you mean by being with a woman of high caliber, because we live very similar lives where I'm always busy, I'm always doing something, and I can't be with a partner who doesn't understand that and knows how to confidently walk alongside me on this journey, because I don't see the work slowing up.
Yeah, that's just like me dating a man, and I'm like, hey, I'm about to go out of town. You trying to go? You want to go? And he like, I don't know. Everybody who know me know that ain't gonna work, because I will buy a plane ticket tomorrow and I will pack a bag tonight and I will get up out of here. I don't expect anything of men that I can't provide myself. I will say that, as the everybody knows, I will take myself out on a nice dinner any given night of the week. You know what I'm saying? All that good stuff. I'm buying myself top of the line stuff. I'm taking myself out of the country to different places. So that's
the determining factor between you and myself and a lot of other women. What we require, we also reciprocate, for one, and then we also do for ourselves. So it's not like you don't, you're coming from a place of you don't have the means to do these things yourself. Oh no, I'm going to make it happen whether you're with me or not. But if you're going to be here, then this is also a requirement.
Well, the reason why it's a requirement for us and for women of the same caliber is because we're already living that life. Right. And if you're going to bring something to my life and enhance my situation, you need to be able to do what I'm already doing and or better. You can't step down a level from that. That's just like me meeting a guy and saying, yeah, I've been to Thailand this year, I've been to this place, I got all these stamps on my passport, and he like, girl, I'm about to take you to Houston. Don't get me wrong, I would enjoy Houston, but at some point, like, I'm a stamp on a passport kind of girl. You know what I'm saying? And this isn't me expecting you to take me places. This isn't me saying I want you to fly me out. This is I'm paying for my own places. I've been to Paris for weeks at a time. I've been to Amsterdam. I've been to London for weeks at a time. I do these things. I'm not expecting anything of you that I can't pay for. I'm just expecting you to be able to do it because I want you to come along with me. I want to share this experience with you, not because I want you to do something for me that I ain't never experienced. Like, it's different.
Yeah, no, that it is different. I feel that it is very different when you are someone that's already living that life, and hey, this is the cost to be the boss.
That's it, baby. Listen,
It pays.
I mean, R.I.P. to Biggie, but more money, more problems, baby. Like, listen, we do stuff over here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
I'm not saying I'm not grateful.
It's
like
true.
we said earlier, I'm not saying I'm not grateful for small things and gifts. It's all about,
the intention.
the intention behind it. But what I'm saying is the bare minimum is never going to be enough when I give myself the maximum.
Yeah, that's very well put. Perfectly said. Perfectly said. Well, Tash, I think that's it for me. I do want to jump into the Sanctuary Scoop and just let you guys know to follow us on YouTube. We are, again, getting our followers up and getting our views up. Follow us on TikTok as well.
Yes.
And Instagram. All of our handles are The Soulful Stir. Look out for Facebook activity coming at you soon. We're going to be establishing a page there, and you guys can follow us there as well. You got anything, Tash?
Well, I was just going to announce the TikTok on Sanctuary Scoop as well. I know we said we didn't really have anything for Delicious Dive, but just in the spirit, once again, of overlap, the Sanctuary Scoop and Delicious Dive, I kind of think that we might have an official show cocktail. I'm not going to go into details about it right now because I don't want y'all to steal our idea. But I think we have us an official show cocktail.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that a little bit more and then maybe in the upcoming episode, especially once we get some merch made and get, some nice, some cute little cups and start doing some visual episodes and all that. But yeah, we got us a little, we got a little something going on behind the scenes that, trying to get some official stuff going on for the pod. So
Yeah,
I think
we have
that's
a lot
it
of
for
things
me.
in store for you guys. So thank you again for listening. This has been another episode of The Soulful Stir.
This is Tash checking out.
Diamond Simone checking out.
I was getting ready to say 10-4 like a crazy person.
Oh my God.
All right, y'all. No, this has been a great episode. Once again, thank y'all for listening. Make sure you tag us on social media, follow us on all platforms, and most importantly, yes, please share this with your family and friends,
with the cousin, with your homegirls,
and connect with us on
homeboys.
social media because we about to get active.
Yes. Until next time.
See y'all next week.